How did you find us? Did the team really deliver on the expectations that you had?
I'm absolutely sure.
You, of course, didn't tell me that when we
No, I
first
didn't.
had. But we might be well prepared for that before. But this
We will. This was
this you are not. When was the one time that you wanted to kick us out?
No, I mean, you have irritated me. Exactly. That goes back to what I was saying is
How would you define Accel1?
the goal of Accel1 is re-engineering planet Earth.
Hi Sanjay, how does it feel to be back in Hyderabad?
Always love coming back to India and especially meeting with partners like yourself.
How did you find us?
I was doing my own research for a company that can meet our requirements on brand promotion, cutting edge digital content and social media. Honestly, I finalized about 10 companies. Your services and the communication with you, especially Anand, and with your team, kind of made big differentiation in the decision making.
10 is a lot of competition for us to get shortlisted, right?
Absolutely. But I wanted to make sure that we have a right partner, not a vendor. We have a right partner who can meet our vision.
So you do emphasize the role of having a direct emotional connect also with the client. I mean, do you emphasize on that when you look at a partner?
All the time. Because when you do not understand your client requirements and merely deliver services, you would never be able to meet with the requirements of the customer. So for me, it's always important that my partner is part of my team. They understand the DNA of Accel1 and deliver solutions and products.
So when the project began, what was your first impression about the team? You remember we had a few hiccups initially. We went up and down a couple of times. So what made you still believe in the company?
Day one is not successful for anybody, right? So it's a journey. So when there were initial hiccups, I was actually expecting the hiccups, because if you're delivering everything on day one, I'm not telling you the story of the brand,
Or something's wrong.
or something is wrong.
So you don't believe everything is perfect on day one, right?
No. All our efforts at Accel1 also, we have seen hiccups and then eventually success.
So now that the website is live, do you think it represents Accel1 as a brand? Because we've done 3 versions of it, I guess, to where we've got now.
Absolutely. Remember on that day we had almost 2-hour session. We did whiteboarding, and that is required, rather than just sending you some requirement document and asking you to imagine. At Accel1, with all our partners, we want to get deep. Like for example, today's conversation also, right? So on how we envision our products, how we want our products to look different from other competing products in the market. Whether it could be your website or it could be UI UX designs on the website, on our products. I think we look at differentiating ourselves as that leading player in climate engineering, and the website really speaks to who we are and our brand. All that stuff is spot on.
You remember that when this website was done, there were around 340 iterations that had happened on different screens that went through. You think that the journey would have been significantly tough, right?
It will be more, because honestly, 340 iterations, I'm glad you guys did it. First of all, thank you to you and your team. I mean, and that kind of talks about who we are together as partners. You understand what we are trying to accomplish, and for something like that, I'm sure I'm surprised you did 340. I was expecting more.
So just for understanding, and a lot of people would be hearing this, how would you define Accel1 in about 30 seconds?
The goal of Accel1 is re-engineering planet Earth. We have so many problems around the world across water, agriculture, and pollution. Our goal is to at least minimize those problems and help the species, not just humanity, just all the species on.
So what inspired you to start this, Sanjay? I mean, from an ESG company, how did this transformation happen? I remember having conversations about it, but I think if the world has to know something about it, how did this transformation really happen?
How can technology solve that problem, right? Can technology solve that problem, right? I think that was the 100,000 feet view idea. But when I started drilling down, then I realized that there could be interventions, there could be weather interventions, there could be environmental interventions that technology can bring in to solve the problems.
That's some thought into this. Yeah. So if you were to describe us in 3 words, how would you do that?
You understand the DNA of a company. I think the 3 words in eParivartan: number 1, outstanding. Number 2 is you get into the weeds of your customer expectations. And number 3 is you are a partner more than a vendor.
It's nice to hear. You can add another word if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think just you guys go above and beyond. You partner with your customer in different journeys, the ups and downs.
Okay. We've now worked for almost about a year and a half,
Almost
I guess,
two
2
years.
years.
2 years.
When was the one time that you wanted to kick us out? Was there a time?
Nothing. There was none.
You sure?
There was none. Absolutely sure. When we were working on the video for NASDAQ, we had some tough moments. But eventually, that's how we all worked together.
So you're just considering the tough moments, not
No,
losing
I
confidence in the team, what the team could deliver.
Never. That's why I keep calling the people that you're working with Accel1, your team, I call them as my best buddies.
Fair, I agree. I mean, it's always a journey. I think if a journey doesn't have roadblocks, I think it wouldn't be as memorable or significant. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. You need to have roadblocks. Does not matter what you're trying to do. The roadblocks teach us tough lessons. Roadblocks help us understand whether it could be designing a website or it could be designing a product. Roadblocks help you to understand your customer expectations.
True. And how do you expect us being on the back of a truck when we are shooting in Rajasthan?
Exactly. That goes back to what I was saying is, partnering with your customer. I mean, luckily the minister was also with us.
I agree.
But not behind the truck.
So before working with Parivartan, what was Accel's biggest challenge? Or I'm sure you must have had a vendor before. So what made you? I mean, it's probably repeating my point earlier, but I want to understand what's the difference that we brought onto the table between another vendor and us.
I think I was struggling with branding. Again, the other vendor was more of a service provider, and I was struggling explaining them my vision. And I think the other vendor was more of, okay, give me a requirements document, I'll deliver it for you. And that's the biggest differentiator, right? So I don't have to draw wireframes or anything for you guys. I just have to give you an idea and you know what needs to be delivered.
So you think we have successfully managed to transform your digital story of what you really wanted Accel1 for the world to see when someone logs onto your website or when someone watches a video? Did the team really deliver on the expectations that you had? And what do you think should also be improved upon? I think it's always a journey of improvement. That's
Absolutely.
why we call ourselves as chain makers. So we don't, mediocrity is something that we don't agree with. I definitely believe this was one of the biggest challenges and efforts that actually went into developing a website where so much thinking was required, for which references are not available. That's one thing is important. There are no references available.
No, I think you guys did fantastic. So far, all expectations were met. All the boxes were ticked. Storytelling in India could be different from storytelling in Africa.
That's great. Thank you for your time, Sanjay. Such a pleasure having you in office again.